Welcome back, barbecue fans. It's another week of Wise Guys Barbecue. We're here to entertain you a little bit, I guess. Vin Picaro.
Entertain ourselves quite more, but
that's it.
fine.
That's it. My left side, Charles Baldwin, is in the house, and we're in the wine cellar again, which we love because we like wine. And here we go. So busy week this week. We're switching over from Halloween into Thanksgiving. And, we had a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking a little bit about the comparison of barbecue competition as a sport and how it relates to other sports that are out there and what might be the best thing. So we're going to break that down for you in a little bit. But speaking of sports, you just had a hell of a weekend.
We had obviously... I told you we had the NFL in the house, and that went fantastic.
Why don't you explain that? I don't know if our audience knows.
Without giving out too many details, I sometimes do security with some of the NFL teams that come to town to play the Patriots.
Gotcha.
And I have to say about the Falcons was like the most pleasant experience I've ever had with a
first class.
Just so organized and just pleasant and not up your rear end about everything, very, very chill.
Right.
A couple of things went wrong and nothing disastrous, and we took care of it. But, some of these other teams would just come down on you.
Well, it's a big deal, right? How many rooms they pull down when they do something like that?
It can be anywhere from 70 to 100.
Okay.
Depending on their travel team.
Do you find the organization to change over the season? I would imagine beginning of the season, a lot of newbies, they don't know what they're doing. Everybody's up each other's butt, like you suggested. Then as things go on and they do it 8 or 9 times, they get better at it. Yeah.
Preseason is get in, get out.
Yeah.
I mean, they just want to get everybody because the numbers are so much higher because you're dealing with so many players that haven't been cut yet.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So it's really a fire drill,
right.
on the preseason, just trying to get everybody in, get out, and not lose anybody.
Right.
But during the season, it's a much tighter ship, and every team is different. Some teams come in and they're just so laid back about everything. That you barely talk to their security people. You barely, everybody's got a program.
Right.
But
what determines that? Is it the coach or is it
you change coaching staffs, and everybody likes to do it their own way.
Yeah.
You might get a staff that's very meticulous and very mechanical in what they do. Whereas then you might get a staff that's very laid back and just do our thing, get us fed and get us sleeping, and it's all good.
Right, bare essentials.
Yeah.
Now, did you get to go to the game as well?
I did go to the game. Go to the game. I bought the tickets early.
Yeah.
Before, when they first came out, and nobody was expecting, the Patriots to do anything, so the tickets were relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, good.
We had great seats and a great crowd. It was like a college crowd.
Who's we?
My 2 kids.
Nice.
Zach and James took me up there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, one of our details for the team didn't show, so I ended up being with the team from 3:00 in the afternoon till 10:30 the next morning when they headed to Gillette.
Gotcha.
And I was just wiped by the time. So you got this insane crowd up there at Gillette, and I'm just sitting there like, oh
yeah, oh boy.
I didn't fall asleep. The kids were worried about that, but I did not fall asleep.
Yeah. Well, the weather was gorgeous, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, good
beautiful
day for football.
And
good day for football.
Great first half, nail biting in the second half, but we got the job done.
And won for you.
Yeah.
That's always big.
Excellent.
It's always big.
Excellent. So
especially when you got kids there, because you feel invested in, like not the perfect day, but a great day.
Yeah.
And a winning team helps that along for sure.
And my kids, we can have fun in a parking lot. We just get along. We make whatever it is out of the situation.
Your kids are just like you. They're laid back. They're there for the experience. Exactly.
Yeah,
they're not. There's no high pressure there, which is cool. Makes it fun. Yeah, actually, I saw my oldest over the weekend, and I guess he's got tickets for that December 1st Monday night game. I don't even know who they're playing. Rich, who are they playing? Do you know?
Giants.
Giants. Okay.
Ooh, a lot of Giants fans in New England.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, there'll be a snowball fight without the snowballs.
Yeah, that's gonna be a rough crowd. But not the highlight. Obviously, the highlight of the day is the Patriots, but the food at Gillette is really good food for a ball game.
All right, what do you mean? Break that down for us. I got to know.
All right, they got the standbys,
right.
the sausage and peppers, like
sausage
you get it,
and peppers,
like you get it Fenway,
yep.
and the hot dogs and the president, all that good stuff, and more booze you can shake a stick at.
Yeah,
but they got a legit pulled pork sandwich.
Really?
And nobody was more surprised and delighted than myself.
Now, wait. So what is it? Is it an actual sandwich or is it open
face? It's a nice big pulled pork sandwich on a nice, beautiful, bulky roll, and the pork is tender.
Pre-sauced? Do you sauce it?
It's pre-sauced, but not a lot of sauce. Like it's just the right amount. So it's not dripping down your face. Beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
Like I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're keeping the temperature right there, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm assuming they smoke it off site and bring it in, and whoever they're keeping.
But if you're going to dry out a pork, you basically have to quick temp it, right? Which microwave. And at that point, you're risking it being dry. If they're not dry, then they're keeping good temps all the way, and that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
that was
it's
a pleasant
fun.
surprise.
So back to my boy on December 1st, I'm talking to it's him and his girl, and some of his coworkers are going up, and I was talking to Samantha, and I was like, "So you guys tailgating? What are you doing? What time do you tailgate from?" Like I haven't been forever. Like, what do you go there at 1, 4, 5? When do you tailgate for a night game? And she's like, I don't even want to tailgate. I just want to eat. I want to eat Gillette food. Ballpark food. She wanted to be inside. I was like, that's interesting. Yep. I mean, I was there years ago with the same son when he was like 18, 19, and I probably haven't been back 1 or 2 times only. And I can't remember the food. So I'm sure it changed a lot. It doesn't matter if I remember it or not. Probably changed a lot anyways. And but yeah, she was more stoked about eating inside the stadium than she was tailgating outside, which is different from me, and I know you too. I love hanging out. I mean, if I didn't go into the game till halftime, I'd be okay with that. Nowadays, well, I shouldn't even say that because Brady, you got to see every minute, right?
Sure.
This new regime, I was like okay with not seeing it or seeing it from the luxury of my living room, but now with 7-2 Drake May, I want to see, like we both played, not at a professional level, folks. Don't let me get you crazy. But you really can't appreciate an athlete unless you see the timing in person. Because they're, when they're running with the pack, it's hard to differentiate a good athlete from a bad athlete. But once you can isolate them on a field in real time, you can tell if they're the real deal or not. And this kid seems to be the real deal. I just can't. I want to see him for myself.
He, and this is what I say about, obviously my son played quarterback. Your son still plays quarterback. And the first thing I noticed about your son, which I said to you years ago, was very calm with the chaos going on around him. And it never seems too much for him. Mm-hmm. And this is early on in high school, and he hadn't played a lot in high school, but that's the first thing I noticed about him. Obviously, the athletic ability was there, but some kids they can't take their eyes off the line in front of them when they get the snap, and you got to ignore all that stuff. And Luke had that early on, and my son did too.
And there's Drake May guy.
Yes,
he's got it.
And the reason he's able to make a lot of these plays or extend some of these plays is that his peripheral vision has to be like an owl, tremendous, because he's looking downfield while he's moving, and then all of a sudden he sees a opening and he runs, or but he's always focused on his receivers downfield, and that's not an easy thing.
And
to
as
do.
we both know, you can't do it without those horsemen up front.
Nope.
And he's been getting some clean, calm looks at receivers, and that'll make all the difference in the world. You still got to deliver the ball, and he has.
Sure.
So God bless him. They're doing well. Love that head coach. Love the way he loves his players. I don't know if you noticed. I've been noticing it. Some commentator pointed it out. And, he quickly shakes the hand of the opposing coach and gets over to the exiting tunnel from the field because he wants to give all those players a hug on the way out and thank them, for their professionalism and what they're doing to reboot this team. So it's fantastic. Right now, it's all fantastic. don't make the playoffs. We'll have something to say about it.
We'll bitch then.
Exactly.
But, and knock on wood, yeah. I'm getting that kind of vibe that I got after 9/11 when Brady was really, cool. Bledsoe got hurt and Brady stepped in. I'm kind of getting that vibe where things are just going our way. Like the guy missed a freaking extra point for us to get the and it was the guy we cut earlier. 8 weeks later, the guy, I guess we made the right decision there, keeping the other kid. But I'm starting to get a little bit of that feeling that maybe something like this is meant to be. And
so cool.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, so one of the reasons why we brought up sports today is we were talking about, competition barbecue and how it relates to being a sport. And when you have that comment, you have that conversation with people, usually folks have no clue about competition.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, it's like, come on, cut it out. You're talking about a bunch of guys, sitting there smoking meat, and then you're talking about people that maybe their whole adult life trained to be an athlete, And, okay, let's take the personal athletic attributes out of this scenario. If you look at, and I'll compare NASCAR, right? Because for me, there's a lot of parallels there.
A lot.
First of all, you look at the NASCAR car and you look at the pit masters, equipment, smoker. These guys have those machines fine-tuned, right? They've cooked on them a bunch of times. They've learned it. You have to learn that equipment, not only, cook to cook, but, what time of year you're cooking, what's the moisture in the air, what's the wind like, how
all
are
the variables.
Yeah, you got to know all that stuff. I mean, forget about, wood choice and how your burn's going, but just take your machine into presence first. And it's a lot that goes in with NASCAR. I mean, if you know a little bit about NASCAR before any main event, I mean, these drivers are out there the week before running that course, those laps, getting their timing down, getting the understanding of what's going to happen in good weather or bad, and how it's going to affect their race. Same thing with these cookers. I mean, they know to the second how their equipment's going to perform on their meats, because their meats, it's again goes into what gasoline you put in a NASCAR, what food you put in your smoker, how is the size of it, how is the trim, fat related to protein on those, those pieces of meats that are going in. So you got to have a consistency there, so the consistency of your cooker is going to perform. And
well, I love your analogy with the car and the cooker.
Yeah.
Okay, because NASCAR, has regulations for all these vehicles.
Okay.
So like everybody has to, essentially use the same, not the same car, but the same specs. And
size tires, pressure
they
the
have
tires.
regulations.
Yes.
So you've got just like the smokers. Everybody's got a smoker. Everybody's got a good smoker. They're different brands and things like that, but you're kind of dealing with, you both have to go through the same process.
Yep.
So what are you doing with your car and with your smoker that's going to set you apart? What can you do to set yourself apart? Like you mentioned,
gain the edge, right?
The fuel you use, the sticks or the pellets you use, the flavors you use. There's a lot of very similar things that they do in NASCAR. What can we do in our car? Like the mix in our gasoline. What brand tires we want to.
Yep.
It's very similar. It's really an interesting comparison. The other thing that's really similar is the. Both things have a pitmaster, right?
Yes.
The guy that is in charge of making sure everything is set up and everything is ready to go, that the meats have been seasoned, and the fires are where the temperature is supposed to be.
Yep.
The pitmaster in the race car has to make sure his team is ready, that the tire changing guys, the gas guy, his driver, obviously. There's a lot of similarities in how the crews run, because we both know things go wrong in competition.
Yeah, that's it. Right. We say it all the time. Before you can learn how to win games, you got to learn how to not lose them.
Yep.
Okay. Very important. And communication's huge. And the teamwork that happens too. I hear the stories more times than not where everything will go smooth, and they'll have a person, the person that turns in the box, right? There's a time. You can't be late. If you're late on your box turn in, you're out. It's a time, and that's it. End of report. And you can be a little early, but you can't be late. And in the process, a lot of the people that bring over the box, they want to run. And it's the first thing you don't do, right? Because you don't want to jar that box. You don't want to bang things around. You don't want to, everything is so specifically placed in that box, right? Because you got to give, and you know more about judging than I do, but if you're going to have your box hit a table of judges, and if there's, 6 bites in a box and there's 5 judges, you want to make sure every one of those judges have the opportunity to pick up a nice, clean piece of your turn-in protein and get a good bite. It's all about, that's it. That's all you've got. You have an event and you have 60, 70, 80 competitors, right? And maybe you have, 6 tables of 5 judges. You got 30 judges that are tasting your turn-ins. You only have that one bite against these other 60, 70, 80 folks to make it to the top. And when I say make it to the top, the scoring is so tight. When you get to those last 3 to 4 guys, their 3rd, 4th decimal place is the separator in the scoring for those guys. It's that good, So in the same thing with NASCAR, right? They go around that track. They have communications on every lap. They got a timed lap, and they want to see where they are, not only for the pace of that group that they're in, but also against the whole spread from last year. And they have to make sure that they're digging on all the information that they need, and they're
paying attention to their fuel consumption, how fast it's burning, how many laps can we go before we refuel? Should we try and stretch it an extra lap before we refuel? A lot of strategy, right?
Because they have that whole drafting thing in the cars. So there's a lot to that team and communication that has to happen, and it can't always be rushed. And it's, again, it's repetition, right? So that competition cooker, he's doing it. Maybe he only performs in 4 to 7 competitions a year, but he's test cooking at other events throughout the year, maybe fundraisers and stuff. And he's always producing to his, and it's not just the day of the race thing. Like we said, as you bring your meats, you defrost them at a certain time, you trim them at a certain time, you get them there, then you got to, once they're there and they're approved by the competition group, you get them seasoned, you get them ready, and everything, it's everything. What temperature do you want the meat at before you cook it, right? It's all that process.
So meticulous.
Oh yeah. And everybody has their thing. And then if you talk, our wise guy who is a competitor, Bob Bauman from Big Bobby's Q, he'll tell you all the time, it's have a program and stick to your program, Yeah. And of course, when you're the guy, right, you're the pit master, that's it. It's embedded in your head, your heart, it. But now have, somebody who's assisting you. And it could be your wife, it doesn't matter. But they don't have that, right? Because they haven't sat there with that brisket since Tuesday like you did, and know what your plans are in that event. And even though they might gone through it before, they don't know it like you do. So you have to kind of communicate all that without being a jerk, right? Can't be a Captain Kirk, right? You got to have everybody in on that stuff.
And again, this goes down to the meticulous preparation that goes into the final competition. Both NASCAR, both competition barbecue, so meticulous. And I got this image in my head of Rico at Miller's. There's a nice picture of him, and we did our documentary on Miller's. There's a picture of Rico or a little video of him literally with like a pair of like tweezers, like adjusting his ribs in the box, because it's when you open that box, that's the first thing the judges see. And if it looks great, it's such a plus.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you open that box and it looks like who did it and ran.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because they get jostled around or what happens, but sometimes you look at it and you're like, boy, that just doesn't look that good.
Yep.
And other ones you open up like, wow, those look fantastic.
Yep.
So just the preparation and the attention to detail that goes into something like running a $500,000 machine.
Yep.
Or making sure your preparation and your strategy and your consistency with barbecue. Very similar.
So you said a lot there, because Miller's is friends of Jake, and that's not a true competition I shouldn't say it like that. That's not a very active competition. Or,
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's not like the Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's got a bigger goal.
It's a Nebs, sponsored event. And the people you have there might be the people that do 1 or 2 a year. They're not, they're not their super, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, there's a program that each one of these pitmasters have, and they follow it every time.
So along those lines, we're talking about presentation at a barbecue event and how important it is. And if you know anything about events, they usually come with terms like garnish, ungarnished, and all that means is what you can put in your box when you turn in your meat. Some places will just have the straight box, nothing in it. Others will have garnish, and the garnish is usually a kale. It can be a lot of different things, but it's usually a kale, or sometimes they use lettuce. But you got a neat thing here. What is this?
So this is cool. This is so if you guys have followed the show, a friend of the show, Ryan Sherlock, who is a competitive pitmaster himself and also an entrepreneur, and I guess what do you call the people who invent things? An inventor.
Entrepreneur, inventor.
Yep. And to this week, we dropped his video, his unboxing on Foul Forms, which is just revolutionary. Check that out if you get a minute. But also, this is cool. This is what he calls it, Kale Forms. This is an item that he makes on a 3D plastic printer. He can't keep up with orders. And what it basically does for you, it gives you this form that you can apply your kale to, okay? And what happens is you want this process of kale needs to be done ahead of time, right? Anything you can do that's not cooking your meat ahead of time just saves you all the time in the world at the event. So what people will do is if they're going to have 4 different meats that day, right? Or if it's 4 times 2 double, 8, they'll have 4 of these. And what happens is you take your kale and you apply it to the form with the spacer, and then they'll vacuum pack this. So this now doesn't move. Okay, this is solid kale, ready to go, and it's not moving. It can't jar around. It's vacuum packed.
Do you put the orange piece on top of the kale after?
Yeah, because it's a double flip process. So you have to basically put your kale in here, and then you flip it into the box.
Okay.
Okay, and then you take this off, and then you flip the box back over and take this off. So it ends up basically
like that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the trick is, and the consistency is, make this ahead of time because you can do that.
Sure.
You can't, so right away. And I asked Ryan and I asked Bob Bowman, who unboxes. I was like, why don't you just make your boxes ahead of time and, they're done, right? And he goes, you can't, because your box is given to you by the group, the sanctioning group.
Right.
And the reason for that is marked for your team for the double blind scoring, and you don't have them. So what they do now, what you can, so people would bring their kale. So what does that mean? Find kale. You get a case of kale. Pick out the perfect kale. Trim it. Get it. Keep it. Store it. Bring it to the event. Open it back up. Hope to God it's in that same consistency that you had when you did all that work to it, and then apply it to your box. Not anymore. You get to do all that work at home, put it in your tray, vacuum pack your tray, get to the event, cut off your vacuum pack, bang, bang. It's in your box. It's ready to go.
Easy peasy. One last thing that you have to do, right?
Yep, times 4, right? Because you have to do that 4 different times for 4 different boxes for that day, and then do it again the next day. So, amazing little invention. You can't keep up. Like I said, if you're a competitor, you don't want 1 of these. You want 4 of these. You want these. Check it out. He's on Facebook, Ryan Sherlock.
Sherlock, yep.
Yeah, I'll put a link below so you guys can see it. You're going to eat the kale? So you're just going to just get disqualified. You want 4 of these, and the idea is don't wait until like a week or even a month before your event because he is so backed up with production. You need to get these. Can't keep up. So please, 2 things. 1, look for that Foul Form. Another great invention for cooking your chicken. and keeping it pristine, getting it into your box and the whole process. Look for this. This will be out next week, this unboxing, and then we're going to actually have another, with the things that we can actually pull a cook with. We're going to do a cook for you, Ryan. So probably in a couple of weeks, we'll cook with that Kale Form and get that on video for you. So keep it up, man. Great job. Great inventions. I love talking to you. You seem super psyched in what you're doing for the competition world. So great job.
Did he say anything to you like how this came on him? Like, that's a great idea.
No, and you know what? I mentioned it to him that we should have him on the show, right?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I'm going to say Ohio. He's not regional to us. So he couldn't come to the studios and have a bottle of wine, but he for sure could get on with us virtually. And I think that would be a great story.
Definitely.
Of why he came up with the things he came up with and so on. So, we'll get, if we can get that done for you, we will. Stay tuned. Great job, Ryan. Keep up the good work.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that bell. We love to have your views and your subscriptions, man. It just makes it, we're doing it for you guys. We're doing it to have a good time, and it just makes it wonderful to see those numbers crawl up.
Yeah, no, it is great. Thank you. And you guys have been spectacular, so thank you. But it's funny what, I'm going to say trends. I don't even know if that's the right word. Sorry, I'm old. But like Tommy did his comparison pork cooks. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he put in his video, because he's a butcher and it's important to him, is he talked about this certain gland that's in pork. So, if you guys haven't seen the video, go look at it. But it's kind of cool because it starts off with 2 bone-in Boston butts, which he then bone one out. And then that's the comparison. Bone in, bone out.
Correct.
Wrap it with Reynolds, wrap it with paper, all different comparisons. And he gives you that whole breakdown. It's a little long. I'm sorry. If you watch it, you'll love it. You'll learn a lot. One of the things you'll learn, and we have a short on it too, which got 22,000 hits. And this is in a day and a half. So who knows where it goes. But there's a gland inside this piece of pork that a lot of people don't know about. And you have to get through some fat to get to the gland and get the gland out. But it will not cook out. It will not reduce. It's a chewy piece of meat. You don't want it in your pork. I guess if you're really good at shredding the pork afterwards, you could pull it out and post-cook. But Tommy just goes in and butchers it out. Well, not only did he get 22,000 views in a day and a half, but he also got some people that came back and kind of said, why are you being so meticulous? Why are you wasting my time? Why are you being... and Tommy was like, listen, 49 years I've been doing this. 49 years I've been telling people about this gland. Every person I told them about it, if I took it out or they took it out for themselves, made a huge difference in their cook. And it's just stuff like that that's amazing in barbecue that you don't know about. You learn. And I learned so much from Tommy watching him
Have
cook.
you ever heard of that before?
Never in my life. And I'm like, and so you got to, when they cook in that Studio 4, I'm upstairs. I'm usually in the office or somewhere else, and I can hear things. And I'm trained now after doing this for a year and a half. When you hear something go off the rails, you quickly come back in and settle down. If it's the butcher or if it's the cameraman or whoever it might be, you settle them down. And say, whoa, back up. Let's do this again. But I'm hearing this, and it wasn't upsetting to me at all. I was just amazed by it. I was like, I never heard of that in my life. So I came back out later, and shame on me. I had bought same cook. I had bought 2 bone out Boston butts because he said he's going to debone it. So I said, I'll just get the bone out. He's like, I wanted to take, okay, all right, fine. So anyways, I said, show me that again.
Did you rebone it?
No. We just took one of the bone out ones and we went in for the gland again. I said, show me where that is because I want to know. I got to take it out next time I do this. It's pretty cool. So he brought me through it, but it's great. I always learn something with him. He did it again. So you guys, as you can tell, right, 'tis the season. We're trying to line up some content appropriate shows for you. And we got some smokes. We got some we got some turkey cooks coming up. So the first one was created by Tommy, and he Tommy, you got to make it wise, guys. He's got to make it a little bit over the edge.
Tommy Bag of Donuts.
Yep. So he got the roasted turkey, and we just did this yesterday. So he did the roasted turkey, which he ended up making a bacon lattice for it.
It was amazing.
Yes, very good, Tommy. Great job. And that was
the little. I have to say this. He made his stuffing into muffins.
Yeah.
So he just took his stuffing and put it in muffin pans, and it was a great idea.
But wait a minute, he wise guys it up. So
Wow.
it's your Italian stuffing muffin, which if you say that in a different crowd, you're not going to get the same reaction.
So what did he put in it? Some capicola?
Yeah, gabagool. Gabagool. He definitely shredded up the gabagool. He had all the other traditional stuffing flavors in there, and then he buttered up a tin and he made a muffin out of it. So they came. They were,
So good.
So it's really good. And why? It's like a muffin. That you got the muffin top. It was dry and crunchy, and then you had the muffin bottom where it sat in the tin. Where with the butter that was in there was a little more, like saturated in some wonderful fat and butter fat, and it was good. It was like a nice serving, and it's a good serving size.
Perfect.
And Tommy would be the first one to tell you he's not a baker. He's not. You're going to get those guys that stand out in front of the Don Corleone's hospital. He's the butcher. He's not the baker. He'll tell you every time. He'll have his hand in his pocket like a gun, but he's not the baker. He's
For
the
your
butcher.
father. I stay for your father.
So
I was made after that.
Oh yeah, he was in. So he did do a good job on the muffins. I asked him because I told him, and I love doing it, and I'm actually pretty good at it. So I think I'm going to take my own shot at it soon. But popovers, you like popovers?
Oh, I love popovers.
Yeah, they're not that hard to do, and they're great, and they go with, you make them with Yorkshire pudding, right, which is meat.
And the meat juice.
Yep.
In those popovers.
So and that right away, he's like, look, I'm not a baker. I don't do this stuff. It's not my, I'm like, nah, it's not that hard. I'm going to have to do it for you. But look for that. That'll be out next week. We got that one coming out first for you. And then,
Tony's got something in the works too.
So Tommy's will be the week of the 10th, and that'll be the roasted lattice. And then Tony,
It's going balls out again.
Well, he's doing everything, right? So he's doing the brine. He's doing the brine. So he's got a brining your turkey, which is a must. You got to know how to do this and when to do it. A lot of people know how to do it. Maybe some people brine with salt. Some people brine with a liquid. But there is definitely a preference, and there's definitely a process. And whatever you got to get. Whatever you decide, whatever you decide, you got to get that osmosis in the turkey to occur, and you need that 2 to 3 days out. So he does a whole piece on the brine. Then he spatchcocks it, which is another amazing event with turkey because he's going to smoke it. It's going on the smoker. He's going to smoke that bird. And while he's smoking that bird, because he is Tony Two Smokes, he's going to be smoking some harvest vegetables, right? Some squash, some carrots, some parsnips.
Parsnips.
Yep. And he's got a bunch of vegetables he's going to have in there smoking down because while that bird's cooking, he's going to make a wonderful roasted harvest vegetable soup. And it's got a little cream in it, and it's fantastic. So look for that. That'll be out the week of the 17th, please. And, like Charlie said, it's important. You got to like and subscribe. There's so much. We actually have a video every day this week, okay? Monday through Friday, we're releasing something, and you guys won't know about it unless you ring that bell. But also starting this week on Wednesday, so you'll be able to see it right now, is our first pilot on Destination Q. We got Theodore's Blues, Booze, and Barbecue.
What a great place. What a great
Absolutely
place.
fantastic.
We had a fantastic time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all the people up there. It was so kind to have us there. So check that out. That came out Wednesday. And then we got Tommy's Cook, which is the I call it orange is the new black. It's his grilled chicken with carrots, roasted smoked carrots, and pesto and a carrot top pesto.
That pesto, and obviously I'm not a fancy Dan. You say pesto,
meat and potatoes.
Yeah, you say pesto. I'm like, yeah, I'm not eating. That pesto was, amazing. Just I can say amazing a lot, but that was out of the park. That pesto was delicious.
There you go. I agree.
Well done, Butcher.
Yeah. Yep. Good job, Butcher. So we got a lot of holiday roasts coming your way. Plans for ham, plans for standing rib roast. which was fantastic when Tommy hit it the first time and well received by our audience. I'd love to get him to get some time with Beef Wellington. A lot of stuff coming up, folks. So please like and subscribe, ring that bell, stay well, join us as much as you can. We love you. Thank you for being here.
One last postscript. It was my old man's birthday.
Oh, yes.
Rest in peace, Charlie. 97 years old on November 3rd, and I miss him terribly, but he loved you and Dave and the Greeks.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to be getting ready to go out and drink beers, and I'd come down from my room, and he'd have all these characters at the kitchen table talking theology with them. I'm like, what are we doing? Let's hit the road.
There was one man.
Have some respect. We're learning something here.
Yeah, one man you couldn't say no to.
No.
That was your dad.
No,
And
that was the Rev.
something special.
The Reverend.
God love him.
Anyway, love you, Pop.
Cheers.
Peace.
Adios, folks.